Greetings, 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 disruptors. We are live with our very first inaugural coaching conversations with Selina. So, thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about my journey. Let me know how I'm doing. I love testing this out. I'm just jumping right in the deep. And we're talking about my journey to disruptor coaching, why I moved coaching conversations over to just strictly be live on YouTube. I'm testing out my first microphone. It's a Blue Yeti. So let me know if you can hear me. Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three. Is this thing on? And we're just going to get into all the tea. I'm in a bit of transition. I've pivoted in a number of ways, more than just one thing. I've pivoted in my messaging. I've pivoted in the channel that I'm using to communicate with you all, and why I'm doing that. So I was initially going live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And now I'm solely going to do YouTube. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. So I'll talk about that. Um, and anything else that kind of comes up because we're on YouTube, y'all. So I'm just giving myself some notes so I don't forget to come back to it. I actually did some voice notes so that I would remember, but I didn't get an opportunity to play them back because time has not been my friend today. There's those things that show up when you least expect it, and you kind of got to take care of them. So I was working with my mom on some things, and it just took a little bit more time. But we can always circle back on anything that I missed. So say hello if you're out there hanging with me. I'm still learning where all of the buttons are and all of that. I see the chat, so I'm gonna put my favorite thing that I like to do in there is wave and say greetings. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, good. It gives me the skin tones too. Oh, that makes me feel really, really happy. So let's just jump right in. And we're talking about my journey to disruptor coaching and how I got here. And part of it is there's so many dynamics, right? You're made up of your life experiences and what goes on in your life to get you to where you presently are. And as far back as I could remember, probably 7, I have been coaching and empowering other people for years. And I know it's what I would do for free. However, I did not find out and figure out that coaching was what I was doing up until 2019. When I took on my first life coach, I had become disconnected from myself. I was in a narcissist. I was married to a narcissist, and I was also at the same time working a full-time job, had started our business because I had been given a vision for the entire thing, which I would later learn that the vision was actually for me. It wasn't for us. And that vision was driving me once we got married. I'd gotten that vision before we got married, and I thought it was just to help him in the business. His family had been in the business for over 80 years. I had also helped them stand up a franchise, him and his brother. And that was something professionally that I was really proud of myself in doing because I did all of the documentation, the SOPs. I created them. I managed it. I was a senior store manager. So I hired everyone, handpicked every single employee. I did the staffing and scheduling, inventory. I created all of the processes for all of those things. And I was also their executive assistant. So keeping them in line because they were like projects. They were twins. So imagine that. And they were kind of like celebrities at the time. When we first opened, they had a line down the block. Okay. And so that was something that I was very proud of. And I did that for 3 years. And before that, I used to manage churches' chicken restaurants. I was like the cleanup girl. I was the youngest manager at the time in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland, Akron area to be exact. And they would send me in. I started when I was maybe 18 and a half, going on to 19. They would send me in to clean up things, get it organized, get things where they wanted them to be, to maintain the stores. And then from there, I left and I went to work for, and let's just rip the band aid off. It was Whitmore's Barbecue in Cleveland, Ohio. And it's all out on the internet. And then they opened up their own, and I helped them establish what the franchise format would look like. And so, super proud of that. No, can't take that away from me. Those are facts. Okay. And so, years later, um, I would do the same thing for my own business with my husband at the time because I had been given that vision. And my ex is one of the Whitmores, as well. And so when that happened, I already had the blueprint. So I just started doing the thing. But then, like I said, these are the things that were in play with the narcissist and all of that. And I was in a space where I was so focused on that vision. I wasn't really present because I was looking in the future. I was looking at what could be and all of those things and not really being fully present in my life. And I was still working a full-time job, 40 hours a week. And then we were actively doing things in the business as we were building the business. And he was the face of the business. And so, kind of letting him lead, be the chef, all of those things, and not letting him, I don't want to sound like that, but that was the strategy that we were doing. And him becoming a chef and going to culinary school while I'm working full time, all the things. Most folks know what that looks like. Women usually just jump in. You don't need to be asked. We just go in. And I did. And I own that because it's something that I wanted. I thought I was helping us in the future. And I didn't know that that vision was going to just excite me and pull me in and just want to get totally engulfed in it. I developed the logo. I developed all of the marketing. I ran all of the social media. I did the reputation management. I did it all. I was doing everything. The gear we wore, just my hands were all over it. And I loved it. It was truly a labor of love until I started becoming disconnected from myself because I kept compromising because we were just on had two different ideas about this. First, I believe we were on the same page, but then turns out we weren't on the same page, right? And so that looked like it was always a tug and a pull. And I was compromising for the sake of the business and at the time for the marriage. I wanted to be the best Christian that I could be, also be the best wife that I could be, and all of these things because I was doing them because there were things that I wanted. I wanted to, be this amazing couple, like all of the things, right? That life has you believing that is supposed to happen in your life. And it got to a point where going into the third year, I started realizing this just ain't gonna work. This is just not going to work. I'm not happy. Things are always a struggle. One minute it was like it was like crazy. It was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and just one minute it would be nice and great. Next minute it would just be a hot mess and figuring out like what the hell just happened? Like a tornado came through here. So there was totally a lack of peace. And I was doing a lot of giving. My mother would just say, "You're doing too much. You're doing too much." She didn't say how, why, what. She just said, "You're doing too much." And then I just started realizing this is just so heavy. I don't know that I want this anymore. And mostly I didn't want the marriage. I wanted the business. I loved every part of that. I wanted to do that, and I had a vision also that I would be consulting other small businesses so that they wouldn't be in their business working it like a job, predominantly in the restaurant industry, because that was my lane. I had been doing it for probably at that time, maybe 12, 15 years. And so I knew it. And then you add another four on that in that business. And I just loved it. I could see where things needed to be streamlined. And I also had a background in project management. I did business continuity and disaster recovery. And that's pretty much being a project manager with a focus in business continuity and disaster recovery. Okay. And so it was like bringing all of my tools and my gifts together and connecting. I loved connecting with people, understanding what their needs were, helping wherever I could. I was a total giver. I would just show up and help people even if they didn't want my help, because I just had this knowing. I could just see them and see what they need. And I would be the person. One of my best girlfriends always says, "How do you go in the bathroom, come out knowing everybody's business?" And I would say, "I just said hello." And they would just be drawn to me. They would share all of their business, and most would say, "I don't know why I'm telling you all of this." Well, I didn't know either, but I was interested. I do have a very high concern and regard for people. I'm wired that way. And so I just own it now. At first, I thought it was something wrong with me that I would be so concerned about people. And for a while, there was, because I was codependent in being in that marriage, and I just became a people pleaser. And I don't know so much in that marriage, but I also went through a lot of grief because I had been married at 23. My husband died. We had only been married 7 months. And that's when a lot of guilt and shame and my self-esteem was shot for a long, long time, because right after he died, I got pregnant. So that was a heavy weight. Although I had made the choice that I was going to keep the baby and raise the baby, it saved me now, mind you. It was a lifesaver because it gave me purpose. Before that, I never even thought about the future before having a baby. And in in all of my accomplishments, my absolute most fulfilling and greatest accomplishment is being my son's Richard's mother. I did not mess him up. I was most concerned about that if I would. And he is the most beautiful being on the inside and the outside. And I'm just so proud of that because it was one of my biggest fears. I never thought I could be anybody's mama. And lo and behold, God had other plans. Because if he'd have let me do what I wouldn't do, we wouldn't have him today. And he has such beautiful gifts and talents to bring to the world and bring forth as a writer, producer, actor, model, and he's a semi-pro bowler. And I'm certain I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, he played Division 1 basketball in college. Um, and just he's just always pursued the things that would help him be his most best self. You know, I made that possible, and I wanted to willingly do that as his mother, the consultant, the coach. Those were my three roles. And pretty much today, probably kind of coach slash consultant a little bit, as he's out there doing his thing. But Richard, I'm very proud of you. You know, I tell you that all the time, and I love you. I love you beyond all of the stars, forever and ever. So, what ended up happening in that marriage when I became disconnected from myself and finally got the courage and the strength and the sign to know that I was done after some challenges with his health and me becoming his caregiver. That's when things like really, I think, broke to the point of numbness. There was a point where I just didn't know who I was, and I didn't know that I didn't know who I was. Um, that woman, Selina Whitmore, I did not know her. And when that happened, and they were finally gone out of the house, and I'm putting the pieces together and figuring out, my first thought and realization is, what is going on with me? How did I get here? Like, why? I wanted to know that, and to know that I needed to go inward. So there was never a lot of peace and anything in the home. And so one of the things that I did when I had it to myself was I created a war room. I moved everything out of the storage closet, which was in the center of the house, and I had like a little ottoman that became my altar. And at first, I had a candle on there. I had a world map. So when I would pray for the people, and I had examples, my pastors, they had a war room, and I would call it war room slash prayer room. And when I saw theirs, that stuck with me and gave me the insight to create this. Because one of the other things that was happening while all this stuff was taking place is my spirit was no longer talking to me. I could no longer hear the voice of God, like nothing. Because when I would hear it, and um when I would hear it, I would not honor it. I would do other things to compromise for the sake of the marriage, or do what I believed was in the best interest for the sake of the business, bought 2 brand new homes, like, um, just so many things, because like I said, there was this tug of war all the time. So it felt like I was playing chess all the time. And I started realizing, when, like one thing, like, I didn't want to go in debt. I didn't want to borrow money. I didn't want to do any of those things. So my goal was to pay for things as we go that we needed in the business. So I said, let's do catering instead of a full on restaurant. That way we could do a little bit at a time, had all the equipment in the garage, on shelves neatly, and everything. And we worked out of a ghost kitchen and all of those things, so that as we grew in business, I would buy all the equipment that we needed. And it was working. And um, that was a way of compromising versus just full on renting a restaurant and having this high rent to pay. And we were new to the area. We were in Las Vegas. Um, and so with that said, it just created a dynamic where one person, he was believing that, okay, it is my time, I got to do it now, and I'm feeling like, no, if that were the case, you and I both would have got the download from the Most High. And I just that never came, and I just could not. I did a lot, but just certain things I just knew that I couldn't do because it was disastrous. And so when I went inward and I got quiet and still, and that's what I needed. I needed the Lord to talk to me. And I was asking, like, how did I get here? Because in the divorce, I gave them the business. I thought I was done. I was letting it go. And then I kept seeing me as this entrepreneur in the business, and still doing all these things that were associated with that vision that I had been given. And I said, Lord, I said, I still see myself as an entrepreneur. I don't understand. And I've given them the business, and I've still got this vision. I thought you gave the vision to me so that I could help him. Because there, and this is a long story being made really, really short, because there were so many dynamics that added up to align for this to happen. And I heard the Spirit finally say loud and clear, if the vision was for him, I would have given it to him. It was for you. You could have bought and sold me with a quarter. In that moment, in that stillness and that quietness in my war room, because I was warring, it became obvious the whole time I was in the marriage because of the vision for the business. I needed to bring it to life. It was driving everything. And and for me, it kind of felt like a shared mission between both of us. However, it wasn't, right? And so I was just so broken and tender, and I started realizing I need support. I don't know how to get beyond this because I needed me a me. I didn't I didn't I didn't know how to pull myself enough up. Now I had a tribe. My pastors walk me through everything, especially through the divorce and my church community. So many wonderful things. But I needed somebody personally that could walk alongside me and support me, see me, fully hear me, because there were so many things at play. One was getting through the divorce, did that in 30 days, took a course, learned what the ins and outs were, and flat out stayed on it, done in 30 days. Because when I tell you done was I was done. And I needed to do that to get my power back, to take back my power that I had willingly laid down. Right. And then on that journey, when I took on the life coach, it was Feminine Success School, Yaya Smith. And I love calling her name because she does really, really great work. She's much younger than me, um, probably almost 20 years, maybe. And so that was something in itself. But I had been following her for quite some time when I first got married. And I believe the attraction was around the femininity. I believe I had been operating in my masculine for quite a long time and did not recognize that I didn't feel feminine for a number of reasons, for grief, um, past traumas that I didn't know were there, guilt, shame, like all of the things, right? And so it was just a godsend because I had lost sight of her because I was working and, of course, going through all the other things as a caregiver. I wasn't checking for social media and still running a business and working full time. And when she showed up, like right when I needed her, there was a challenge. I took the challenge. It let me know I was in the right place. I love the way she get down, spunky, honest, like a younger version of me. And I needed that. And it really helped me in on what my true wants and desires and dreams were because I had fully lost sight of them. I didn't even remember them. I didn't remember hardly anything. And so to walk through that, I did that for 2 years. But when that first started happening, and being in the program, I realized this is a profession. Like what? I've been doing this for 30 years for free. What? So I wanted to get certified as a coach. I wanted to know the things that I didn't know that I needed to know and what this really looked like to really coach someone and provide them a transformation. I was doing it, but I wasn't doing it in a way that my gifts would make room for me. And they really were making room for me. I just didn't know it. Right. And so I did the program. I believe it was a year long program. And I did it at the same time of doing my life coaching and just getting myself together. And then there at the 6 months mark, I was supposed to take on my first client. I was still tender. I wasn't ready. It was a lot to process in doing marketing and sales and all of the things. And it was too much because I still needed nurturing as well. So I couldn't nurture myself and someone else. That was too overwhelming for me at the time. And so I went on and realized, okay, I need something that's going to make me never ever forget who I am again. And just as I was beginning to end the feminine success school, along came Queen of Ford's Rites of Passage. Soon as I saw it, I realized that's it. That's what I need. It was a 12-week program. It was around sacred woman, and holistic lifestyle living, the comedic lifestyle living. And I recalled years before that, being in this same space, I was in my health community. I also had become plant based and just natural holistic living and learning herbs and how my body truly functions, because I had a lot going on. I was so stressed during that marriage. My body was just fully out of whack. I had allergies to the environment, just so many things, right? And this just really spoke to me. One, being in a community of like minded women, um, that could understand. So there was no need to like explain, because we all have had some similar circumstances, whether it be childhood trauma, whatever the case, right? And I didn't recognize that it was trauma at the time either. I also did have a therapist. As soon as I knew that I was ending the marriage and that my mind and heart were gone, I took on my first therapist as well, because I wanted to come out of that situation whole. Um, and so I was doing that, and I was doing the life coaching. I needed the support to deal with my past on how I got there in the first place, and then I needed the support from the coach to help me move forward and realize the dreams that I wanted to make happen. So the other thing that I was doing, I wasn't ready to take on my first coaching client, but I was absolutely ready to delve into the business aspect of the vision that I had been given to bring to life. That like took me out to know that, okay, I showed up and I was doing all of these things for someone else's dreams or our shared dream, and now to know that it's just mine and I can do whatever I want. What? Hold the phone. Holy Toledo Batman. And in doing that, what birthed out of that and what I started to realize in questioning, right? I'm inward, I'm digging out. I'm anybody that knows me, that I want to get at the truth. Whatever's in there that I don't want in there, I want it out. I used to be very judgmental, grew up with everything being criticized and people talked about, and I didn't like that. I thought it was normal. I used to do it until I had that beautiful baby, and I realized I don't want to raise him in this manner. And I actively took steps to change. I decided, no, 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 we're not doing that. And I hadn't seen it or what it looked like before, but you know what did happen? Every person that needed to sow in me met me along that journey of motherhood. And I'll never forget it, because spirit and my intuition was so high. I knew who to receive information from and who to be like, no. It was one of the most profound times in my life in raising and bringing that baby to life, and trusting myself. I wasn't in indecision. I was full on yes, 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 in flow without even knowing it. And so with that, where am I going with that? I paid someone to do my brand kit, my logo, and then I also recognized one of the things about the vision and why I wanted it so bad. I wanted to have a legacy, leave a legacy for my family, for my lineage, my son, my grandchildren, and all to come. And I wanted to do that as a family business. And then Spirit allowed me to see, well, you can still have that. You and your son can be in business. So I made him co-founder. He's the one that came up with our beautiful trademark, um, Ain't No Way Like the Midwest Way, because the business is called Midwest Way. I had a thing with the Whitmore thing where it was called the Whitmore Way. I was all doing it all, but I was doing it based on my vision. right? With that name, which it wasn't really for. And so I asked my son, I was like, we need a tagline. So the name of the business is Midwest Way LLC. And I said, we're going to need a tagline. What you got? Young blooded. He had been doing all the social media thing and acting and on the cutting edge of so many things. And he came up with Ain't No Way Like the Midwest Way. And I said to him, do not repeat that ever to anyone again until I get it trademarked. All this was happening during the pandemic too, y'all. And so once I got it trademarked, the idea and the plan. So here it is. This is what our merch looks like. It's a distressed look. Um, you can buy these right now. Also, you go to the midwestway.com website, and I think they go up to sizes 3X or 4 or 5 maybe. And then we've got the V-necks as well for the women. And yeah, and so it was born. And it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, because now it became sacred. It became sacred, and I'm going through Sacred Woman and all of the things, and I'm like, man, uh I was nervous. And I'm not usually, like, when it comes to helping other people, I can help you get all your shit together, all of the things, stay on you, hold you accountable, see the full vision. I'm a big picture girl. I'm futuristic. It's one of my Clifton strengths. Strategic, futuristic, positivity, woo. The woo is the connector in me. That's who you see when you first see me, who's showing up, my woo. And I had been like that my whole life. I had no idea. And just helping people. I'm from the Midwest, y'all. Cleveland, Ohio. And that's how we do. When we see something that needs to be done, we just do it. You don't have to ask sometimes. That's across the board for Midwesterners. We're hard workers. We get at it. And so I wanted to pay homage to that. And so the vision that I had been given when I was praying around the entire business, it was Midwest Barbecue is what it was going to be. I already know that it's going to be a franchise, that it was going to have multiple lines of businesses, and one of them was consulting to help other small businesses not work their business like a job, because that's what I would see, especially in the restaurant industry, right? A lot of people get started because they've got this knack for cooking, or they make these wonderful dishes and things and meals and can just chef their butts off. But that's a different skill set than running a business and being the manager and or the accountant and the scheduler and all of those things. Those are all different skill sets. And then when they get into the business, they realize, oh, I got to do all this. And then it becomes more like a like a chain around their neck than the time and financial freedom that they thought they would have in having this business. And mostly because most people aren't just taught that. They don't know that unless you already grew up in that space and have seen it or what have you. But here's something to understand about that too. When you have a vision to bring to life, you're the blueprint. You're designing it as you go, because it's your vision. Nobody else can see it. Nobody else knows it until you do the things that you're supposed to do. And then those things and that energy is drawn to you. And that's for every single person that's been given a vision. It's it's nobody else's vision. There's no one else like you, no one else's journey, story. All of that is what goes into your business and you becoming you and how it needs to be done. Now, what happens along the way, before we can sometimes get to that part, life might have gotten a hold of you. There might be trauma. There might be mindset blocks, limiting beliefs. There might be money stories that are holding you back, all kinds of things that you don't know that are there. That's where coaches come in. I am a business, empowerment, and mindset coach. I became a certified Hello 7 business coach because I had already done that, been there, done that with 3 other businesses on my own and with the ex. And I did not want to do that again on my own. I wanted to be supported. I wanted to know and have a proven framework of what it needs to look like. Because remember, the vision that I told you was around consulting other small business owners. Well, it's coaching and consulting. It brings both of my gifts together and the experience, right? So, what I want to say about that to you out there is you might be believing that, oh, it's so easy. I can't, that just can't be it. But that is it. That's the way God moves, right? When you get connected, there's going to come a time where there's going to, especially as an entrepreneur, you're going to realize it's just you and the most high. It's just you and the most high, that you've got to block out all the other noise so you can hear and see what needs to happen. And then you're going to realize, oh, this is bigger than I thought it was. I might need some support in this. I might need to be held accountable for this. That's what good coaches do. Get you to where you say you want to be to meet your goals, help you figure out and pull out those dreams and desires and visions that you have. But life has been weighing you down so much you can't remember them, you can't see them for a number of reasons, especially for women, because society has taught us that we should show humility and be humble, raise the family, and then you take on all of these jobs and all of the things. So maybe you're not supposed to have your dreams, like the family and all those things are just your dreams, and that ain't it. That's why I'm the disruptor coach, because I needed to disrupt some shit. I have disrupt so many things in my life. I disrupt the spirit of control. I disrupted the spirit of judgment and confusion. And now I have tools around being clear, because I had been in a state of confusion for a long time, up until shit, even now sometimes. Getting triggered on another job with all of the narcissistic stuff. And it just sent me in a tizzy and down a path to PTSD and trauma stressors. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. And it's a lot not to be in community and finding the right tribe and squad to be supported for you to flourish. Now, we weren't meant to do all these things alone. I like creating circles, what I call circles of love. That was another thing that was given me around the vision and the mission to bring the life for Midwest Way. Midwest Way, our goal is to create a circle of love so that we can perform random acts of love, which I love, love, love. I'll talk about a little bit more at another time. Provide information and resources one heart at a time. But the random acts of love is it. And all of that happens through the circle of love, the village. All of the people in the village helping and doing their part. That's all we're responsible for, is our part. And then the other people that we are either called to serve or to serve us come along on the path. And that's what I want you to know and understand. You've got these dreams, these hopes, these desires, this business, or you want to get started with a business, or you've had some shit that you've been through and it's dimmed your light and it's taken it away from you, and you know you're in there and you want to get it back and you don't know how to get it. I am your girl. This is what I do. And quite honestly, I say 30 years, but it's been more than 40. I'm 57 years old, y'all. And I'm just getting started, just getting started with what I know that I know and to be able to walk in my purpose. And it looks like doing all the things that come on your path that says it feels right or this is the path to take. There is no straight line. That is why it's called a journey. And in doing that, you want to do and say yes to the things on your journey that are in alignment with your heart, your body. Because I'm going to tell you, the first thing that knows is your body. It knows. And your gut, your intuition. Men and women have intuition. I got a brother. His intuition has never failed him. It amazes me because he follows it to the letter. That's some kind of street code cred stuff or something going on. Him and God got going on. And I love it because I lost mine. And let me tell you something. You don't want that to happen to you. So I want you to always practice leaning in and following your intuition. For some people, they call it the first mind, which it is, right? Because God don't compete with nobody else. So anything you hear after you hear that first voice is not the voice of God. But you know how you say, I should have followed my first mind. I should have followed that first voice. I should have did. When you do that, you don't end up regretting it. I did it for almost a whole year in 2011. Amazing time of my life. Amazing. And then I got stupid. I did what I wanted to do. And it was a setup. Yeah. So I don't do that anymore. When I did do it in that marriage, I didn't know at that time spiritual warfare was at play. There was a demonic presence. And I've talked about that before. It revealed itself to me once it got out of the house. It scared me to death. That's what sent me in that war room. Man, oh man, it was a lot and extremely traumatic. But I'm not gonna that's really my journey, what led me here. So my journey led me to coaching and my initial messaging. And this is still the case. I still want to serve you if you're there. Because it's not a straight line, it's a journey. So it is the woman whose inner light has been dimmed. Yes. If your inner light has been dimmed by some type of disruption and you need my empowerment coaching, which is really life coaching, but I'm teaching you to fish. I'm giving you the tools and things that you need so that when disruptions come, the next time, honey, you might bend, but you ain't going to break. You're going to get stronger and more resilient the more that comes because you're going to know how to handle it. You're going to have a medicine bag, a tool bag. I do holistic life coaching. So I get all of you together. We get your finances together. We get your health. We build your tribe, your inner tribe, what I like to call the inner love tribe, and your outer tribe to support you, because that's what happens with most women. You feel like you got to do it all by your damn self, and you do not. I'm here to tell you. I've got clients out there that are thriving. I want to be some of them. They doing the thing. But I know the Lord got more work for me to do to help more of you be out there and get on your mission and vision. So there's her. Then there's her. Once you've gotten your confidence back and your vision and can see it and know what it is, then I help you on the business side to go out there and make it happen, to start it, to grow it, and to thrive in your business, to live and have a life that you love of financial and time freedom. I help you increase your revenue if you've already started, but you know that there are things are missing. We build that solid foundation. I help you strengthen all of that, help you get visible, because sometimes when you've been through some shit, that's part of the problem. I help you break those generational curses, those voices that haunt you. I'm a mindset coach. I help you get your mind right and master your mind and quit letting it run away with you. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. So there are going to be links for you to book connection calls with me. If I'm speaking to you, you know that I'm your coach, because that's what I hear. All of the boys and the girls in the yard know that I'm the one. I know that I'm the one. and I'm showing up in I'm the one energy. So come get me when you ready to disrupt some shit. Now's the time. Quit waiting. Quit waiting. You don't have to wait anymore. You got support now, baby. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna switch gears because that was a lot about me, but this is why I love YouTube. I'm not on any time constrictions here. Okay. And why YouTube? Bigger audience. Um, because I know I'm meant to serve so many people. I'm gonna be a billionaire, y'all. I'm saying it here live on my show. Um, and so I need a bigger audience. So y'all can hear me. Those that are supposed to, I'm supposed to serve, and those that are supposed to help me. Midwest Way is a social enterprise that'll be brought to life. And an arm of that is DisruptHer Coaching. It's going to be DisruptHer Coaching and Consulting. Yes, 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 yes. Um, and so watch me. I want you to see what's going on. I want you to subscribe. I want you to tell other people as well. We're showing up here. So, coaching conversations is another one of my strengths, connecting and allowing others also to have a space to come and share their gifts. So, we're still looking for coaches. Go to the links and on any of the social, and there is a link for you to sign up as a guest to be on the podcast. There's one requirement: you need to be a coach. I want other coaches, other light workers to have a platform to share what they provide, you to hear from them and experience them and all of the good things and have those wonderful conversations. I want you to come and get help seek coaching. So if there's something going on and you want to come on the show and coach me, have me coach you through it, ask your question, that happens often. So we can do that too. So come see me and let other people know. Come see the disruptor coach. She's got something for you. That's if you're looking for something different. If you still want to maintain the status quo, you go ahead. There's plenty of people out there doing that. We don't do that over here. Okay. It looked different. We built different. Okay. We done been through some things and we've seen what that already looks like. You know what that already looks like, but you're scared or you feel whatever is going on, the trauma that's at play. Maybe it's still the little girl or the teenager. You're stuck there. I got you, boo. I wrote a book for that too. It's 5 effective ways to make a decision, right? Because you're stuck. And the women needed something to help them to begin to trust themselves again. It helps you build your intuition and trust yourself again. And it's just a little toolkit. It's 11 pages, but it is packed with transformation that will change your life. 5 effective ways to make a decision is out there too on the links. I'll be dropping all of that stuff. Hey, this is my first time going live. I didn't get everything set up. Reason being, the tool that I was using is called StreamYard. They want me to pay 3 times the price to use it. That's a no. And in the pivot, the things that are being revealed in the direction that I'm supposed to go in. And you got to follow it. You got to trust it. So many of us want to see it first. You can't see it. You breaking generational curses. It doesn't exist yet because you're supposed to be the one doing it. So you got to get started. You got to find somebody that will support you on the journey to do that if you don't have the strength to do it yourself. But you know in your heart of hearts, you are called to do it. Right? That's what needs to happen. So yeah, StreamYard is a really great app. I like it, but they're paring down to only 3 services that they offer. And I'm not there yet to pay them the kind of money that they want. I was paying $10 a month plus tax, and now it's going up to 40. So that's 3 times the investment, and it's not worth it. I'd rather be on here with YouTube where my audience is, and I'm going to do LinkedIn, and I'll push to the other accounts as well, but it's going to stem and start right here. So come live and get this meat and all of the goodness that's in here for you. I would love to be able to serve you. Let's get to know one another. Absolutely. Um, and I'm sure there were other things that I was supposed to talk about, but definitely YouTube and StreamYard. and then my journey. And I'm transparent because I know that it helps other people. It's like sage. And all of the clients that come to me are attracted to my energy and my story. And I got stories for days. That was the light version, right? So I have a combination of education, but more lived experience through these things, through them. We don't get stuck in them. We go through them because it's going to come up. You're never done. It's a journey. There is always something. But you know what you get and what I help you transform is your mind so that you can have peace no matter where you are. No matter where you are, we build that. That's a muscle that we strengthen also, right? So sometimes you may come to me for the business coaching because you really want to do that, but you may not be ready. You may need the empowerment coaching first, and you got to be willing to accept that. Okay? I'm creating two communities. The Dreams to Reality Circle is going to be a membership based cohort community. Got to be a member. Um, it'll I don't have the date, but it's coming in October because my team and we're on a pause. We're just taking a pause to kind of like get all of this stuff together because I did a hard pivot. We've been going strong for a long time, and we just need to slow it down to regroup because a lot happens in real time, and it's just really hard to pivot without a team. And I'm creating another circle. I'm saying it here, and it could change, but this is what's on my heart and my mind right now. And I'm going to set it up this week. I'm creating and then we'll be, you know, getting all of the foundation ready. So, but if you want to join, let me know. Um, Send me a DM, all of that, and I'll make sure you be the first to know when it's open. The other is the Power and Divine Identity Circle. That's for the empowerment coaching. That's to help you get your swag back and all of the things, you know? So support you on your full journey. All right. Um, yeah. So meet me here every Sunday, 7 p.m. We done did this thing, our first YouTube live in the books. I've got some other ones out there as I was practicing and testing and trying it all out and all of that. But I'm talking to you now. Come join me. Tell your mama them and all of that. Send me questions. Definitely subscribe. We got to get the subscriber count up. I would love to be able to do that, but I know it's going to come. I'm also going to be producing a lot of content. And tell me, this is what I want to know for my business owners. And that's where I'm starting. I'm starting with the business owner community first, because that's the highest vibration. That's where you want to get to your mission and your vision, and help you thrive. So we can start there. You call me, and if you're not sure, I will make sure that you get in the right place and get everything that you need. Okay. um, Tell me, what are those pain points? What are the things that you're feeling out there? I'm going to be doing a lot of market research. So I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. I'm going to want you to respond to my polls if you're in my ecosystem, all of that. And I want you also to give me and my team some grace, right? Because we're doing this thing too. What is new and different for me in this, and just full transparency, is all this marketing and sales. Now we were on the restaurant side and the food and beverage side. I got that. That feels good. This is still foreign. So I'm still getting comfortable in having these conversations and all of that. And it takes practice. So this is what it looks like. But let me tell you what I'm really good at is coaching the hell out of whatever you need. I got one client right now. I am just in awe of her. When I tell y'all she gonna be a millionaire, like, I give her max 6 months to a year. She that cold blooded. She that cold blooded. you know, and a lot of it deals with her IP and things. So I can't talk too much about it. But when I can and what I can share and what she gives me permission to do, I will. So, what I want you all to go to do, check out my social, my testimonials. There's a lot of tea in them testimonials. Check them out. I got receipts. And then I'm going to also bring some of them on live to share their own stories as well. So I'm going to be providing some solutions for you. I want to know what you want to hear and what you would like to see as well. Okay. So get at me. This we in a relationship. So I talk to you. I would love for you to talk to me. All right. All right. This feels so good. Um, yeah, let me know how the sound is. Let me know how the video quality is. I'm probably going to have a background because right now I don't have any of the branding and stuff up that I know I'm supposed to do and all of that good stuff. There'll be thumbnails. We're working on them, but I'm giving you this information. So that's what's key. Remember that. When you're in the beginning stages, you don't need all that stuff. You don't need a website. You don't need any of that. You just need to connect with your peoples. Here I am connecting. Yes, and I want you to connect back. I like it. I'm sensitive in that way. I like people. I want to know what's going on, what's really going on, because a lot is going on in life. So don't be walking around with the mask pretending like it's not. That's how things get heavy. We're going to help you get lighter and lighter and lighter. We're going to help you get as light as a feather. Got my feather over here on my altar. This is what I want. Want your heart to feel very light. Drop one of my pictures out. I love to paint, and it just fell. If y'all hear that noise, that's my Cleveland one. I didn't paint this one. I got it as a gift. But yes, I do painting. So you feel me? You feeling me, good people? Because I'm feeling you. All right. Whoop. Well, I guess it's deciding. And it's a snow scene too. We'll get that in enough. But this is my reminder to keep my heart light, not let all of this stuff. Yeah, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, y'all. Okay. So we practicing being light as a feather. What does light as a feather go? Ask yourself, is this serving me? If it is not serving you, put that shit in the trash. Okay. Put it out in the trash and do not pick it up. Here's another thing for you to understand: the future and the past, they don't exist. And when you spend time there, it robs you of your present, which is the gift that you've been given. It robs you of being present with yourself, hearing what's on your heart and mind, and really experiencing the things that you want out of life, because your mind is running away from you and all of that. I got a beautiful exercise that I'm going to teach around the mind. Let me put that on my list. Teach around the mind, because we're going to help y'all get free. Okay? Going to help y'all get free. But that's not going to come right now. I got some foundational things that I need to do first to get you set up and get the community, the cohort started. So the Dreams to Reality Circle will be coming to you in October. But you can get on the wait list and get in the circle as soon as we have the frame. And we're going to be building a lot of it as we go, because you're going to be the first. All right? All right. Let me know what questions you might have around that. I'm creating a beautiful community, these circles of love. Well, that's my time. I want to thank you for being here for Coaching Conversations. I'm still working on what my intro and all of that going to look like, if it's going to be one or what. But I'm open to all kinds of feedback. So let me know what you're talking about and what you're thinking and what you heard. And yeah. And in the meantime and in between time, I want you to take good care of yourself. That is your responsibility. That's all you're responsible for, taking care of yourself and your own happiness. You are in the driver's seat with free will. Okay. And know what else? I love you. And I'll talk to you soon.